Hello, hello, hello. Are we live? Okay, there we go. I can see a lot of messages popping up in the chat. There is a slight delay, but we are live. As you might know, I don't do this often, so you'll have to excuse me while I'm learning this live thing, but at least you can now hear me live and I can actually see all of your messages coming up live right here into the chat. Oh my god, there's so many of you. It's great doing this on YouTube, like posting these phenomenal videos for you, but sometimes it is tough to just know how many of you there actually are. And seeing your messages live is so amazing. So let's start it off by me asking a couple of questions from you. Where are you from? Where are you based right now? Please tell me the country and maybe your name, and I'll try to read out some of these right here so we know where the people are joining from. Where are you guys from? Okay, I can see Argentina. That's great. Brazil. Okay. India. Yeah, there's a lot of India here. Bhutan. That's great. I can see Pema right here from Bhutan. And I gotta say, Pema has been one of the most active people on all of our socials, especially on LinkedIn. Like, he is always there, first one to like every single post. So thank you so much. I've noticed you. I also want to greet a couple of other people. There's Syed from Bangalore, India as well. He's doing a great job building in public and following every single one of our tutorials. So that's great. And there's also another follower called Antonio Paulo from Brazil, and he has a birthday today, and he said he'll be joining. So happy birthday, Antonio, as well. It's so great to see so many of you right here. And yeah, just, I mean, crazy to see. Let's see which other countries do we have here. Yeah, there's a lot of India, Pakistan, Ireland, the United States as well. This is phenomenal. And yeah, even though you cannot see me right now, I might turn on, or not turn on, but you will see a picture of me giving an interview with a co-host of the Syntax FM podcast. So there's some quite exciting stuff coming along. And now that a lot of you have joined, what do you say? Are you ready to get started? I think we can slowly dive right in. Again, countries are coming up. We have Mexico, we have Turkey, Sri Lanka, Nigeria, Serbia. This is great. Cameroon, Morocco. You guys are from everywhere in the world. It's so great to see what we have achieved, and all of you here are here to learn how we can improve your skills. Trust me, this is not going to be the webinar where I will make you scared and where I'll pressure you into thinking that you need to be better. This is a webinar to show you what you're capable of when you put your skills out there, okay? So let's go ahead and let's get started. Everybody can see the first slide on my screen. I think that is the case. So if that works, we can get started. First things first, like consistency, agility, creativity, and adaptability. Those are the qualities of a proper developer mindset. So let's check them out. You'll gain all of these things from the webinar today. You'll learn how to develop that mindset that leads to success. So let me just put this side by side so I can see your chat as well. There we go. This is what I want to see. Perfect. Okay, I have everybody here and we can continue with the developer mindset. So today, I want to teach you that developer mindset, and I will teach you that, okay? So once again, hi everybody, I'm Adrian, the founder and CEO of JavaScript Mastery, and I want to say I wasn't always here. So let me take you back to when I was just starting out, okay? Let me get you through the struggles. My first internship, okay? It's Friday, 4:58 p.m. I hadn't pushed any code to the code base since the last week, which means 40 hours wasted. I got this internship a few months of self-learning, and when I arrived, I was handed a project with React, and I was told to figure it out, right? Days went by without me writing a single line of code. And this is a true story. I was there. I was working long hours, arriving before sunrise and leaving after sunset. And my friends were enjoying the summer. I was still young in my internship, but I was there doing the work. So there were days where I couldn't solve a single problem. But React was very tough at the time, but Redux felt impossible. And to make the matters worse, some of my younger colleagues were very good as well. So I kind of felt worthless, and programming seemed impossible. And my life wasn't so good at that time. It was a long time ago. But it all paid off. Despite that initial struggle, it was, and it still is, the best decision that I made up to date, okay? It's hard to believe it now since I have a large YouTube channel where, people say I teach well, but it's true. So what changed from then? How did I go from a struggling developer to a senior role in a fintech startup and then doing this YouTube thing? And how did I become a GitHub star, where GitHub directly recognized me alongside 72 other developers out of 100 million developers worldwide for our education, open source contributions, and even speaking at international conferences? Well, when I began creating something of my own, it was a real challenge. I needed a lot of guidance, but I persisted, coding late into the night and applying my learnings. And things didn't click overnight. It was quite tough. But then it clicked. And today, I was able to apply those learnings and taught millions of you to code and land jobs at companies like NVIDIA, Google, Meta, and others. Or even some people created their own startups out of that, which is so amazing. My primary goal is to see every single one of you succeed. So, from not being able to teach others or not being able to teach myself to then teaching millions of other people, trust me, you can do it too. And I'm here to help you develop the skills and the mindset needed to get where you want to be. So let's dive right in and transform your career. Before we get started though, I want to say something, and please remember that this webinar will not be replayed. It will be on YouTube, but I will unlist it after 24 hours. Some of you might still be able to access it, but if you're not here right now, you will not be able to see it if you don't have the link. So and the reason why I'm doing this is, again, not to scare you, but to say, hey, you're here right now. You took the time out of your life to be here. Thousands of other people are interested in getting this info, but you're actually here. There's also going to be a Q&A at the end, special discounts and more, so make sure to stick until the end, okay? This is great. And also, I want to make another disclaimer right here, and that is that if you believe that there are no jobs available out there, well, that way you've already given up, right? I can't help you if you feel that there's nothing out there you can do. I need you to believe in yourself and actually believe in your skills. You need to have that developer mindset, okay? So find something else worth your time, no offense taken. But this webinar is for those who believe that they can secure a job with the right guidance. It's for those who trust in themselves and their hard work. It's for those who, regardless of the situation, are determined to do their best work and push through, no matter what. So let's discuss the agenda of today's webinar. If you're still here with me, you're already halfway there. Congratulations. So let's do it. I'll start with covering the title of this live session, Navigating the Job Market During Layoffs. Okay. After that, I'll go over the concerns of artificial intelligence and how you can actually leverage it to your advantage. Then I'll share with you some highly specialized tech that is going to be very popular in the future, but that you most likely didn't even think of. And after that, I'll teach you 5 strategies for landing a developer job. After that, we'll also have a quick Q&A session where you can ask me any questions that you might have. Okay? So a lot of exciting stuff is coming up. My goal is to make you a more confident developer that is capable of doing things that you want to do and that is consistent as well. Think of this 1 to maybe 1.5 hour long webinar as a major step toward landing your dream job. And please remember, this is not a TED Talk. It's a practical webinar that will help you make your life decisions easier and better. It's designed to help you cut through the noise and focus on what you can do instead. Okay? So let's talk about why people fail. Or let me phrase it the other way around. You will fail if you do these things. So I immediately want to make you know what's going to make you fail and then not fail, right? So while preparing for this webinar, I sent out a couple of emails to our newsletter. And one was about how most developers are consistently inconsistent. And that means that they don't take much action, even though they know what's stopping them. One such person commented on my LinkedIn post and said, there are no jobs, okay? Basically, he says that individuals with 10, 15, 20 years of experience struggle to find jobs as well. And I'm sure that some of you might still have such thoughts. So let me ask you a couple of questions. Do you know how much experience a person with a master's degree has? Do you know people who have actually 10 to 15 or 20 years of experience? Do you know the projects they've built and which technologies they used? Do you know the jobs they've been applying for? And do you know how much they actually know? I have personally met with people with master's degrees who struggle to build full stack applications, or people with 10 years of experience who struggle to even learn a new technology, okay? So stop defining your life based on the circumstances of others. Other people may or may not know what you know or what you have to offer to the market. So focus on yourself, okay? Many people fail here, right? They just think that it is impossible because they read what's online and what's happening, and that's not what you want to do. You want to focus on yourself. If you're the one who's not getting a job, work on that instead, right? It's your life, not theirs. And regarding his claim of doing 25 to 30 hours of lead code and then doing another 10 hours of day work but not landing a job, I doubt he's actually done this or will do this. I checked out his profile and his GitHub. I had to blur it out, but I didn't find anything significant, right? There were no interesting projects, mostly just basic one. Maybe he did do the work. Maybe he didn't. We'll never know. But, we'll dive deeper into that later. I'll teach you how to actually do the work and show what you're capable of. So instead of saying, even if I worked for hundreds of hours and I still won't land a job because of the recession, why not actually put in the effort and then evaluate the outcome? That way, at least you'll have the satisfaction of knowing You did everything you could. All of you with me so far? Does this make sense? I really want to make sure that you understand that the ability to land the job is in your hands, nobody else's. You are responsible for achieving things. And with the proper guidance, you can do it. Now, I agree. I want to put it right off the bat there. The market is tougher now than ever, right? It's no longer about, hey, I completed a React course. Now I must get a job. That's not how it is anymore, right? You must do more work and you have to doing it until you do it. There is no other option, okay? And I'm not just throwing out some random words or giving you theoretical self-motivation. My team, my students, and I actively apply all of those tips to achieve our goals, okay? So take me as an example. Like, in addition to creating regular YouTube content, I've been invited to deliver talks and conduct workshops for senior developers at global events such as JS Nation, React Conference, and Tech Lead. And as you know, I faced many challenges in the career, but just a couple of weeks ago, believe it or not, I sat at the same table with top developers like Mr. Doob, which is the creator of 3JS, Evan Yu, the creator of Vue and Vite, and also Scott, the co-host of Syntax FM, and Jason, Google's web AI lead, and many others worldwide that share their knowledge with the community. Also, talking about my students, Anil from Nepal didn't have absolutely any previous web experience, but he had a dream that he wanted to achieve, and he reached out to me. He told me, I dream of being able to build applications independently. That's all that he requested, the ability to code on his own. Then he showed a lot of dedication and he worked tirelessly to do it. And guess what? He landed a job, allowing himself to support his family of 6. Like, phenomenal. And what was even more surprising to us is that there were devs with no previous experience, and there are other developers who had much more experience than him, but he stood out because of his consistency and determination to do something. We also have Haley from Australia. She reached out to me and said, I wanted to take my skills to the next level, and I was tired of learning through random challenges or tutorials. She believed that even if she gets a job, if she doesn't get a job, it would give her knowledge to start freelancing or creating her own software. And then she acted accordingly. Alongside learning development, she was also giving English lessons. Her days were busy, but she knew her priorities and she made it. Now she's writing technical content, which is being shared with hundreds of thousands of developers. Glenn had a very positive attitude from the start, allowing him to transition from working in construction to being a full-time developer, basically living his dream remote life. Christian worked at an Amazon warehouse and switched to a software engineer and basically received 2 salary increases in under a year. Rogers got from being laid off to a senior position leading a team of 6. And if Anil, who had no previous experience, or Haley, an English teacher, Glenn working in construction, Christian working in a warehouse, can land jobs and feel proud of their new career, why can't you? And it's not like I handpicked these few individual developers. There are hundreds, if not even thousands of developers, maybe tens of thousands, who have landed jobs following our advice. So there's absolutely no reason why you couldn't do it too, okay? You can do it. Every great developer started where you are right now. So don't be afraid thinking of other talented developers who would snatch a job from you. They might be talented, but they're not as hardworking as you are. And there is a difference between the two. Take the NBA icon, Kobe Bryant, in this case. Like, he openly talks about how hard work outweighs talent every time. And I know that after this webinar, some of you will feel something. You will feel that you can do great things. No one wants to live a below average life, right? It's just that you're either too lost in this information hell or you're not serious about taking action. But if you're ready to put in the effort and stay committed more than a typical person, success is within your reach, always. You can do it, okay? So let's dive into the strategies for landing a developer job. Now that you're ready to dedicate yourself, you may be wondering, how do I approach this, right? How do I figure out what needs to be done and how to accomplish it? So tell me, guys, are you actually ready for me to dive into the content? Are you now sure that you can do it? Because only if you're certain that you can do it, then we can proceed with this. Otherwise, there's no point. Okay, I can already start seeing a lot of yeses. So this is exactly what I wanted to see. So the number one step in achieving what you want to do and landing your job is to define your focus, okay? That's the most important things. There's 5 very important things to land a job, but we're going to dive into the first one. All of them will be very actionable, so let's do into the first one. And that is, define your focus. When you focus, you dive deep into learning and mastering skills that are in demand in the job market, which makes you a more valuable candidate for companies looking to hire developers because you have specialized knowledge and expertise. To define your focus, the first thing you have to do is niche it down. Yes, narrow your focus. You know when you have a flashlight in your hand and you can turn it around, and if a beam is smaller, then it goes far further away. You have to do that with your focus. Accept that you cannot learn everything, but you can learn enough to get a good job. You really can't learn front-end, back-end, and DevOps and all these technologies at the same time. And expecting to learn all of them quickly is quite unrealistic, right? Not realistic at all. So instead, decide what you want to become on the market. You can be a front-end developer, a back-end developer, full stack, DevOps, 3JS developer, whatever the market needs. And once you've decided, promise yourself that you'll spend at least 6 months completely working on this. No excuses, no other things, just that single thing. Then it's time to take action. Create a roadmap. Now that you know what you want to become, scout most of the jobs related to that position on websites like LinkedIn, Glassdoor, or Indeed. Write down all the small things needed to get done for that job, all kinds of requirements. It can be anything from proficiency in HTML, CSS, JavaScript, Git, React, whatever. Just list it out. Here's a random job listing that I found on LinkedIn from Ava Protocol, titled as React and Next.js Developer. Let's see what you need to know to get this role. This role demands profound expertise in crafting top-tier front-end user experiences utilizing Next.js and Tailwind CSS. Now, the key responsibilities are understanding the API design of Oak automation and cross-chain messaging protocol. These are very specific things, but a quick Google search will let you know a lot about them, and that's good. Cross it off your list and start learning. Design and implement new features on Automation Hub using Next.js, HTML, Tailwind, and TypeScript. Good, that's good. Build new dApps from the group up in line with provided design specifications. Okay, I need to know how to bring a Figma design to production. Good, check. Optimizing dApps for compatibility and enhancing the performance. Okay, good, you can learn that. Conducting thorough testing. Okay, yeah, I can do that. And then writing clean, maintainable, and industry standard Next.js code. Okay, I'm following JSM. I can do that. And do the same thing for other jobs. Then find all the common technologies that you need to have for that job and repeat. Okay. After you have that roadmap, then you can actually learn it, right? Once you have the list, you can work on these common skills, learn all of them, and master at least one of them. Okay, that's the idea. So that the next time you visit a similar job or job posting to what you're looking for, your profile skill should match at least 70% of the skills that this role needs. So even if the job you first saw or wanted isn't open anymore, you can still get a similar job in other companies and get that first ever developer experience. That's it. All we need to now to do is understand the market, find what we want to become, and then work hard toward it. Okay, this was step 1 in landing your dream job. I want all of you now to repeat these steps for me, okay? So the step 1 is define your focus. And can you list out all the sub-items of that thing? Try to type it down. Let's see if you remember. There are 3 steps within that first step. I'm gonna slowly start saying them. So if you're typing, type fast. Niche it down, narrow your focus. Next, create a roadmap by going over the job postings. And number 3, learn, okay? Niche down, then narrow your focus depending on the job roles, and then repeat and learn, okay? That is the idea. I can see all of you already are writing that down. Some people have said forgot. That's totally okay. But most people actually do remember. That's great. Define your focus, narrow it down, niche, and roadmap. Great. Great job, guys. Very proud of you. Next, number 2 is to make AI work for you, okay? Check this out. It happened on 12th of March this year. About half of the unexperienced developer community fell into depression after Cognition basically announced their Devin AI. Tell me in the chat, who here remembers when Devin was released? It was on Twitter and everybody was going crazy, right? So what happened then? Many developers started thinking about switching to farming, and some creators fueled the hype by saying it's the end of the developer world, right? Here's the CEO of NVIDIA saying that it's the end. Well, of course he's going to say that, right? He's making the chips that's running the AI. So, yeah, but funny story, right? However, no one stopped to really think it through. If you visit the Cognition website right now, you'll still see a position open for a software developer position. Like, why not use Devin AI for that role if it's supposed to replace developers, right? But let's consider that this software developer role requires skills that even Devin AI doesn't have yet. This means there's still an opportunity to work as a developer because AI can't do everything yet. There's still demand. And by many statistics, the demand will actually continue growing for the next 10 plus years, okay? So if you check out Cognition's job board posting and you inspect the source code, this is even better. You'll find that it was developed by Ashby, which is a recruiting SaaS company and not their so-called Devin. So why on earth hasn't Devin touched their own job website yet? George, a senior developer, engineering manager, mentor, and advisor to multiple companies, including Scott, JP Morgan, Skype, Skyscanner, Uber, and others, who also runs the top newsletter on Substack, called The Pragmatic Engineer, has shared an article suggesting that AI may be more of a marketing stunt rather than a real advancement. And in that website, he basically says that, nothing about AI is happening. It's still too early to say, right? So this proves that it's not really a risk, right? But why would you risk your entire life on a technology that might or might not replace you in the far future, okay? So let me give you my 2 thoughts on AI. Don't worry about it until it really affects you and takes away your job opportunities. And use AI as a tool to build APIs, small websites, and code, or just in general, improve your workflow. So it'll only help you, not hurt you. Whether you're working on a project, learning something new, or sharing ideas, use that AI as an assistant to make your life more easier and more productive. This will give you more time to actually advance your skills, and especially talking about advanced skills. So this was the step 2, right? And as you can see, step 2 is don't worry about AI, okay? At least not yet. It's still a baby, as somebody said in the chat. So yeah, let's move on to the number 3. And number 3 step in landing your dream job as a developer is learning the market needs. It's similar to maybe the step 1 or the part of the step 1 where you scout the job opportunities, but here you can go a step further and find what the market really needs and then work on it. If you have that one thing that only you can do and not others, you'll definitely get paid for it, okay? That's the idea. So search for that one thing, and if there isn't one, create that thing and show the market what you got. Right now, I think there are skills that will have huge scope in the future. There's Three.js and the WebGL for 3D development, okay? So there's a lot of stuff there that's moving with 3D world. Also, if you think about it, there is Swift UI for Vision OS. You saw how everybody was crazy about that Apple headset that they released in VR. And there's going to be more AR and VR experiences for immersive users and for gaming. And basically, you can focus on that because a lot of Three.js and WebGL stuff for 3D development will be within Vision OS and within AR and VR experiences. If you think about it, with VR and AR, for the first time, we're going beyond just our screen and we are going into the 3D world. And what's better than 3D is it's Three.js, where you can actually visualize and create different things. And again, having spoken with Mr. Dobb, creator of Three.js, he says there's big vision for Three.js moving with these AR and VR advancements. Another thing that you can do is because you also have the Internet of Things, IoT, for connected devices. Homes are becoming smarter, our phones are becoming smarter, so we can manage all of it on the web technologies, right? Also, cybersecurity to safeguard against digital threats. This is also a big thing as well. And machine learning for data-driven insights, right? It will not replace you. You actually can study it to be better. And the best thing about all of these very special technologies is that these can be applied within the realm of web development. As browsers and devices are becoming more powerful, almost everything can and will be ran in the browser, okay? So mastering the baseline web technologies and fusing them with these in-demand skills can be your ticket to success. In short, there will always be something to work on in the near future. And you just have to have an open mind and try to find that thing and see what you can do. Otherwise, not AI, but someone else will replace you soon. So, are you with me so far? Is everything clear? And do you have any questions? You can let me know in the chat. And in the meantime, I will check out some of the chat comments right here. I can see a lot of you are actually enjoying this, which is great. A lot of great messages coming along. I don't really have the opportunity to speak with all of you live like this often. I typically just sit behind a microphone and try to record the best projects I can for you. But okay, I can see that all of you are with me. I can see a lot of yeses coming up. So that means that we are ready to move to step 4, okay? Step 4 of landing your dream developer job. And that is to take action, right? There can be no learning without action and no action without learning. They complement each other, okay? Whenever you learn something new, try it in code. Twice or thrice, however much time and effort it takes, but do it until you get the hang of it. You can see this great graphic right here, basically saying that you have to learn, apply, and that's how you do it. So this is how I would suggest you do it. Learn something new by applying a new concept or technology using tutorials that you find online or similar courses, right? And then practice with code, okay? Apply what you learn in code by using this new concept within a small project. And I want to take a moment here to pause, right? The step 1 is the only thing that YouTube videos give you, right? You watch YouTube videos and you learn something new. But all of these other steps that I'll now show you are more going beyond YouTube. I want you to actually practice with code. Take what is on there and then actually apply it within a small project. Experiment and adjust by playing around with the code. Make changes to it and see how it behaves in different situations. Break your code on purpose, right? Break it and learn from it. See how it behaves. Understand the errors that you're getting and, try to fix them. Make even more changes. Break it again. Repeat. Keep learning new things and keep using them in your code. Each and every time that you do that, you will improve. But even after acquiring a lot of knowledge, many jobs today just expect more, often requiring 3 years of industry experience for entry-level positions. So today, that's why it's important to showcase that you've got some skills that they expect you to have. And you can do it in a few ways, okay? Number 1 way of how you can show your skills. And once again, I want to get back to it for a second here. You can see here 3 years of experience as a content writer, but seniority level is entry level. Okay, something here doesn't feel good, right? 3 years, but entry level. And I want to take a moment here to say that years of experience is not the best metric to measure knowledge and measure skills. You don't necessarily need to have some certificates telling that you can do it. Or you cannot really even tell somebody, hey, I have 5, 6, 7 years of experience. Who knows, right? Time is not the best measure of skill. Some people can learn 10 hours a day for a year. Some people can learn half an hour a day. You can see what I mean here. So that poses a question, right? How can you show people that you have more skill than they might think, okay? First, build in public, okay? By showcasing your ability to work with others and code on publicly available projects, demonstrate your teamwork, and just engage with the community, right? Try to work on some open source projects, replicate the projects I have and modify them and put them on your GitHub. Just do something, build in public, and share it on LinkedIn and Twitter because that's where developers and developer recruiters are, okay? Use Git and GitHub workflows. Highlight your proficiency using Git and GitHub and track changes in your code and write proper commits. Don't forget about that, because if you have some commit messages in your public project and somebody goes through them, well, maybe for some developers you can find some curse words there when they were taking much time to fix the issue, right? So try not to be that developer. Try to actually write proper commit messages because they are public. People can see that as well, right? Learn agile methodologies, okay? What does this mean? Well, it basically means that a lot of these new companies use Jira and other type of Scrum workflows, so you have to know and adapt to these frequent loops, iterative developer, and then just adapt to changes in project requirements. Next, document your project readmes, okay? So create clear and concise documentation that explains your project's purpose. This is a huge thing. And speaking about Glenn, who recently got a job, I think one of the big reasons that he got a job is that he created a proper README for the demo project that they gave him to do during the interview. It included the steps, how to run the project, what to do, what to install, which tech stack he uses. And this matters because when you join a company, they will want you to basically, read their README and spin up the project and run it. And if they can see that you know not only how to run it, but you can also write it, that just gives them much more confidence in hiring you, okay? And this will also give you more confidence to apply for job roles because you already have more experience. You can show them, maybe I have doing this for less than some other people, like maybe half a year or a year or even a year and a half, but I can show you that I was able to achieve more than other people were able to achieve in 3+ years. And they're going to be like, oh, well, yeah, this is much better, right? Okay, great. That's the end of the step 4. Can I have you guys try to repeat some of these steps we've had just so I can make sure that you're actually following along? And can you guys, let's do that for now. Okay, I can start seeing the messages come up right here. Yeah, that is great. Define your focus is the number 1. Make AI work for you. That is great. I can see that from Louisa. That's great. Build in public. Yes, that's great. Learn the market needs. That's amazing. Niche it down. Yes, that's great. Learn agile. Don't stop on tutorials. That's a big one, right? Somebody's asking, what about DSA? Well, yeah, it's good for backend positions and for very algorithm-heavy positions, but for front-end and maybe full stack, which is focused on front-end, you don't necessarily need to go too deep into DSA. What matters much more is that you can showcase what you're capable of with the projects. Great. I can see that a lot of you remember a lot of these tips that I gave you, okay? Great. Let's also see what do we have here. Let's move over to step number 5. And that is don't blindly apply. It's a very important factor when it comes to applying for jobs. Many people make the mistake of following some influencers on social media who talk about mass applying on different jobs, okay? That's not good. Because when you apply without considering whether your skills align with the job requirements, you risk wasting your time and the recruiter's time. This can lead to rejections or not getting responses at all. So instead of applying blindly, it's more effective to understand. Understand the job requirements, company's values, goals, and be 100% sure that you offer what they want, okay? Then, customize your resume and cover letter to highlight how your skills and experiences match the job requirements. Make sure that your resume shows what the company needs. Then revise and apply. Ask your friends to proofread your resume and cross-check everything, right? Get feedback. If you get turned down, don't feel bad. Instead, send a genuine email asking them if you can improve something. And don't expect much. Just be honest and see if they can take a moment to help you out. This applies whether you've had an interview or not, okay? Next, you have to improve. Take the time to review what went wrong and what worked. And if you get feedback, add it to the to-do list and make the changes accordingly. Keep improving until you get it. And lastly, let's talk about employment. What's the use of learning everything if you don't structure it well and show it to your potential employer? As much as your skills matter, how you present them to the next person also matters. Recruiters and employers are interested in knowing how we can help them. So show and not tell. Take the time to create an impressive resume. This also includes GitHub and LinkedIn. Write a personalized cover letter, build a polished portfolio, and improve your communication skills. In the description of this video at the bottom, I promise that I'll give you a crafting a perfect resume guide. You can get that for free at the bottom. There's going to be many more things that I want to cover until the end of the webinar. But I just want to make sure that everything so far makes sense. I hope so. The steps are simple, but it won't be the same case when you want to have them implemented. You've got to do this consistently, and you have to do every step to get that dream job. So, there is no shortcut in between. Making small and consistent efforts is, you can see this illustration here, right? If you have a magnifying glass and you take that potential, you'll get the results. And what is the magnifying glass? Well, it's the daily practice. If you're inactive, there's nothing. But if you practice daily, you'll use your potential. So maybe try to take a mental snapshot of this photo and remind yourself of it every day, or even take a screenshot, right? You need to do daily work to actually be able to achieve things. And whatever you're after, learning a new skill or working on getting a job, simply show up every day and code at least for an hour. The more, the better. I'd recommend ordering 2 books that might help you with this, okay? Atomic Habits and Deep Work, okay? Write those down, use Notion, Notepad, or just have a mental note. These 2 books have helped me become much more consistent. Atomic Habits, which shows how useful it is to invest at least an hour a day, every day, and it will pay off significantly in the long run. And then the Deep Work shows you how you can make the most out of that 1 hour that you put in or more, right? Great. So I hope all of this makes sense. And I hope you are able to get a lot of these tips out of here, because as I said, YouTube videos are only step 1, right? You replicate, you learn, but then after that, you have to actually build some smaller projects, play with the code, and do more stuff with it to actually learn. So now we get to the next big thing, which are the next steps. So are you ready to, see what we can do next? There might be many, many questions, and I know that I won't be able to answer all of them, right? There's going to be questions like how to solve bugs, how to do everything that I said step by step, how to get the bugs fixed, how to, keep up with the coding, how to reach out for help, which projects to build and which features to implement, what to learn for front end, for back end, for full stack, or any other field. There is so many questions, too many to count. So many that I actually can't answer in a single webinar, okay? So, no matter what, there will always be something new to do as tech evolves. So please allow me to share what I've been working on for the past 3 years. It's a single solution for everything you need to do to land that job. Again, you can just take all the skills so far that I've discussed, write them down, rewatch the webinar, and keep implementing it, and you'll do great. But if you just need that extra push, well, this might be for you. And also, stick until the end because there's going to be more things on top of this, or even some alternative things that you might want to check out, okay? Yeah, so we have something very, very exclusive. It is a single solution for everything we discussed. It's a private coaching program that no one offers at a more affordable price, more affordable than any other bootcamp out there. And if you don't believe me, well, check this out. Springboard released the best coding bootcamps on the market 2024, and they dived into the pricing. The most expensive one costs about $21,000. That without the mentorship and without job guarantees, right? Many of them are still above $20,000 as well. The slightly cheaper ones like Dev Mountain don't offer personal mentorships at all. And if you check their website, it's only 13 weeks, right? That's it. They also have a limited tech stack. So yeah, very, very limited. And many things are missing in such bootcamps. From practical learning to top-tier projects to build and deploy projects. I have studied all those bootcamps, interviewed bootcamp graduates and tutors, and even created the most comprehensive program there, personalized for every single one of you, okay? In the program, we dive into 80 hours, that's 80 days of one-on-one learning, and a career program that is not just an afterthought, but a real career preparation assistance whenever you need it, okay? That's more than 100 hours of mentoring from an expert mentor. Like typically the prices of daily mentoring nowadays are about $90. So only that mentoring is about $9,000. Alongside that, you'll also get access to all the past and future pro courses for free for a lifetime. And that's currently priced at around $1,000 plus all the new ones, right? Also, you'll be able to build and deploy 3 full stack projects specifically created for the masterclass. So these are not videos, you will build them yourself, and that's also going to cost about $3,000, right? If we were to price it that way. You'll learn and master the latest tech stack that has to do with Next.js, Tailwind, TypeScript, AWS, a lot of these crazy new technologies, okay? Yeah, that's also quite expensive. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff, right? You'll also develop your own unique portfolio. As I said, private mentoring, right? With qualified mentors. Also, availability through chat every single day. And basically industry-stimulated working environment through Git and GitHub workflows and PRs, code reviews, agile methodologies. There is a ton of stuff right here. There's also full career preparation where I'll help you polish your LinkedIn, GitHub, projects readmes, resume, cover letter, and everything we have discussed so far. That also consists of a lot of hours that I don't want to even count, okay? There's strategies for applying for jobs, guidance on freelancing, starting your own SaaS business, or building your own brand. That's a lot, right? So if we add it all up, that basically ends up being more than $20,000 of value, plus a lot of support, plus a lot of review and guidance. And if you don't believe me, whether we actually provide this, Well, just listen to our members who recently, in the time of layoffs, without any background web developer experience, landed dev jobs. Okay? I want to pull out a couple of clips from those videos. Can you please just let me know whether you can hear the audio that is coming onto here, okay? I'll pull first clip from Glenn, who is a developer that recently got a job. I'm going to bring it to the start, just so you can see how this interview went, okay? And let me know if you can actually hear the audio.
Glenn has finally landed a job last week, I think, right?
Yeah, I'm coming up to about 2 weeks.
Yeah, and then tomorrow you have already been onboarding, and then tomorrow you're officially starting the work. So let's start off with that. A bit more about your position in the new company that you're joining.
Yeah, absolutely. So my position will be a junior front-end engineer. This company in particular was quite refreshing because they told me they really believe in hiring juniors and developing juniors. And I know at the moment things can be quite tough for juniors to land positions. So I was really grateful for that. But yeah, they're a company from Belgium who actually contacted me through LinkedIn. And I think they've seen that I'm familiar with a lot of the tech that they use. So yeah, they got in contact, and really from the first interview and each subsequent interview, things just went so well. So
Yeah, okay, so I know that you weren't able to hear it for the first couple of seconds, but then you were able to hear it, which is great. Basically, here, Glenn said how he started and how he got a job. And now you'll hear him talk a bit more about how he, how his interview process went, okay? So he talks a bit more about the interviews and the assignment that they gave him. So let's listen to that a bit.
Yeah, that's amazing. So you shared this website with me. I think you can see it on the screen, right? A cocktail corner. This was actually your assignment task that you had to do for the position, right?
yeah, that's right. Well, the actual design I was given didn't really look anything like this. It was just like it was just like each card, but everything was really unstyled. You know, it had the picture, it had the name, but that was kind of it. And there's also, I added some additional things here as well. For example, there's additional filters. If you go towards the top of this here where it says all drinks, you can click and you can filter. So I decided to add some sort of extra functionality just to make the most use of this endpoint. Essentially, the task was they gave me this API to consume, which is this free API, cocktail API, and then was to make this site from it. And then each drink has its own page for more information about that drink. So
And you did this in about 1 to 3 days max, right? It's 3. Let's be honest. This is super simple. So please compare it to the projects we worked within the masterclass for me.
Yeah, I would say this is like a much smaller, much simpler version of that. I would say the similarities and the parallels are very clear because in this project I had to, start from the very beginning of the project and build it and deploy it. So I had to go through the whole process, build and create a backend, create a front end, use the API. This is like a scaled down version of what's being done in the masterclass. So this took 3 days. And to be honest, the third day was really just a lot of, like polishing and things like that. So this was, compared to the masterclass, yes, very, very simple. And the masterclass prepared me so well for that. I think had I not done the masterclass, this would have been I wouldn't have been able to do this. It would have been a lot of new things.
And the tech stack, as you said, almost the same, right?
Yeah, that's right. So the tech stack the company uses Next.js, TypeScript. They also use Zustand, Tailwind as well. I believe they use another CSS library as well as Tailwind, but I've seen Tailwind, ShadCN. So yeah, really all the things we used in the course. So it really.
Yeah, and I want to pause here for a second. So basically, as you can see, you were able to see his assignment there. A cocktails, it has lazy loading, it has a slow image loading as well. He did a phenomenal README for the project as well. Now, what do you think? How many of you would actually be able to do that task for an interview job if you were given that task? Okay. Tell me yes or no. Would you be able to do it, or do you think you would not be able to do it? Okay. And while you're answering, I'll continue with the video, and you'll actually see that he didn't have any prior experience to web development. Like before this, he was actually a construction worker. So check this out.
Couldn't have gone any better.
Yeah, that's amazing. And you joined the masterclass about 6 months ago, I think. And what were you doing then?
You mean before the
masterclass started? What was the decision that you want to become a developer?
Yeah, so I probably I went to go into programming probably about a year before I started, but my background before that was so different from anything to do with IT. I was in construction and I worked as a builder for about 12 years. So I always joke about this. Like I actually initially started studying Java. The only reason I did that was because I just typed programming into.
Yeah, so you can see here from no experience then, he was able to do it in about 6 to 12 months, which is crazy. And I want to go here for a second to see what he says about, the masterclass and the mentors in general. I think he credits a lot of success to that part right here. So let's listen to that as well.
Yeah, you had a lot of inner motivation as well. Would you say that the masterclass and specifically the mentors played a bit of an external role when it came to the drive and consistency to keep you going?
Yeah, definitely. For a few reasons, really. One thing I really noticed from the mentoring was that there was a lot of like minor technical things that I learned, but then there was also, I suppose, the bigger picture things that I kind of see, which came to like, I believe you mentioned it in a video of yours before, when you're working with Next.js as opposed to React, learning about the paradigm to fully embrace and maximize the use of the server in user operations. When I had mentors kind of explain the bigger picture things to me, it really helped things click a lot. And then on top of that, seeing really skilled developers, it really makes me think, one day I would love to have that kind of skill, love to have that kind of ability and confidence. So yeah, it's I would say on many fronts, they really helped.
And can you tell me a bit more about your mentor specifically that you were working with?
Of course. So the mentors I worked with most was probably Matteo. It's the end. Yeah, he was my main mentor, and I learned more from him than anyone else for sure. He's a brilliant programmer, and then on top of that, he has the gift of being able to explain things in a way that, he understands I'm not at his level, so he can explain things in a way that I get. And that I think is so important, because some people who are really gifted at.
Yeah, you can see he really had a great time. And I mean, stories like these are great. It just proves that anything is possible. But it's not just him. Like, there are many other people that have had this success. There's Rogers, Anil, Nikki, Nenad. There's so many of them. And there's also Christian, right? Christian specifically has already had a developer job when he joined. So it's not necessarily for people that want to get their first job. It's also people that have a job. So he here talks a bit about how he had a job before, so we can see
Happy
that
to have you
right
here after all this time.
Yeah, glad to be here.
Great. Let's start from now, and then we're going to move to the start of the masterclass. So what are you doing right now? What's your position?
Sure. I'm working as a full stack developer at a relatively new startup on a pretty small team. We have three other developers, and including myself, so 4 total.
Okay.
I'm coming up on my 1-year anniversary. June 21st will be 1 year at the company.
That's great.
Yeah.
So 1 year at a company, but you finished the masterclass it's going to be about 6 months now, or 7 months, I think. Something doesn't seem right here, right? So you actually started your first job right before you joined the first cohort of the JSM Masterclass experience, right?
Exactly. Basically the same month, or even the same week, actually, that the masterclass was starting. I was in the process of working through a couple different offers that I was getting. But yeah, the masterclass ended up starting the same time that I accepted the offer where I'm currently at. So
yeah, so basically, started with one job and then transitioned to the second and get 2 salary increases. I think he talks a bit about that somewhere around here. I like to see this interview often. Yeah, let's hear a bit more about that.
Of the tasks, the daily stand-ups, or all of the above?
Yeah, I would say all of the above. It was a combination of everything. Some of the exposure I had to that stuff was pretty minimal, both coming into the job and coming into the masterclass, as far as some of these collaboration tools like Jira you mentioned. But yeah, not only exposure to that, basically collaboration tools, I would say was one. Just exposure to working on a team.
Yeah.
Having to work in a code base or a repository with multiple developers, and kind of learning basic Git flow, how to make a pull request, kind of sort of some code structure things, keeping your code readable because you know that someone else is going to be reviewing it.
So since you got a job right before you joined, did you think about leaving the masterclass at any point? I mean, why did you stay?
Initially, I was kind of on the fence. I wasn't sure I was going to be able to juggle a new full-time position along with the masterclass. And when I joined the masterclass, I had committed full-time hours. So I just wanted to be sure that even if I was doing the masterclass asynchronously, I was not only going to be able to contribute to my team, but also get something out of it myself. After a small conversation with you, I realized that that would be fully possible. Yeah, I thought it would just be a good supplement to my skills. A little bit how we talked about earlier with the imposter syndrome. At that time, I was trying to do as much as I can to expedite my development, I guess, because I had a strong desire to want to contribute at work, and I felt that maybe some of my skills might be lacking. So I thought the masterclass was a great option to kind of give me an edge.
That's phenomenal. Now, finally, looking back at the journey from joining the masterclass to where you are now, what advice would you give to someone considering enrolling in the program? They're thinking about it, they're watching this video. Should they do it or not?
What I would say was invest in yourself. Maybe you're not the type of person who needs something like the masterclass to stand out. Maybe you're already just, the hotshot developer. But I would say that the skills you get in the masterclass very closely resemble or even mimic what you would get at your first developer job. Not only the way you'll be working in a team environment, some of the standards you'll be held to, code reviews, kind of Scrum methodology, these type of things. It's a great opportunity. And I would say invest in yourself. Like a lot of things in life, you'll get out what you put into it. So come into the masterclass wanting to sort of take charge. Maybe you don't end up as the leader on the team, but if you don't, use that as an opportunity to kind of absorb from other people who might be a little bit more advanced than you or might have a little bit more experience to you.
Yeah, I think you can, Christian put it very nicely. Like if you can, if you have the opportunity to invest this in yourself, then definitely that is the way to go, right? If you can't do it, it's just going to expedite and speed up your process. If you can't, on the other hand, though, I am totally aware that many of you watching this cannot necessarily afford a program like the Masterclass, right? And that is totally okay. I totally understand that. So I just want to preface this by saying that I will always, always, always keep creating free YouTube content. You'll always be able to watch it, right? Free open source code bases, purchasing power parity on all the courses, a lot of stuff for you, okay? I just wanted to let you know that I've got you covered. I'm here for you, okay? For people that want to, speed up their journey, they can get the masterclass. But if you really like what we have covered today and you really, really cannot afford it, we're also creating something pretty new, which will release in a couple of days. So yeah, it's going to be very similar to the masterclass, but if you can go for the masterclass, that's definitely the best way to go. We have been developing it for the 3 years now, and trust me, it gets the results. But if you can't, I'll provide you with something else as well. So, as you have seen, right? No other bootcamp will teach you the latest tech. No other bootcamp will provide well-structured learning with private, personalized, daily mentoring. No other bootcamp will give you tons of pro learning materials for a lifetime. You won't get that real team environment on an industry level. You won't get proper career preparation and assistance even for the smallest things in other bootcamps. And you won't get any of these for this affordable price, okay? So at least when it comes to comparing it to other boot camps. I want to repeat this once again. I totally understand. If you're outside of the US or some parts of Europe, it might still not be that affordable. I understand, okay? This is still the absolutely best way to achieve something. So if you can afford it, go for it. But if you really can't, trust me, I'll prepare something for you very soon. And we don't currently offer purchasing power parity on the masterclass because of the limited spaces, right? But yeah, so for those who can afford it, go for it, because you won't be able to find something like this anywhere else. And I'm not saying it because it's my program. I'm saying it because we have spent a lot of time to provide private, personalized mentoring, okay? And that'll basically skyrocket your career. It costs 9,000 American dollars. And once again, when compared to the other US boot camps, not that much. But I'm even offering a special $1,000 discount until midnight tomorrow, okay? So you'll get a personalized program worth more than $20,000 for $8,000. Or if you want to, you can pay in 4 installments for $2,000 per month, okay? We're not charging anything extra. If you choose the monthly plan, you just got to prolong it for a longer period of time. So once again, for people that cannot afford it, that's totally okay. You can always keep watching free resources, but please do this for me, right? Please actually put what you'll see and learn on YouTube. Just make sure to actually put it in your code and test it out a bit. Play with it. Create your own projects, right? I want you to do that. You need to be able to take the code that you see on YouTube on a course and then do something else with it, right? Polish it, make it your own. That is the exact reason why I open source all of these projects, okay? So everything that we discussed, you'll get a flat $1,000 discount. You'll also get free tickets to Git Nation, which is a hub where developers like Abramov, Dob, Evan Yu give workshops. You'll also get an access to an exclusive interviews library with industry-leading developers that we do. So this is a pretty cool thing that I've recently done. I went ahead and interviewed a few people like Google AI team lead and also Scott from Syntax Podcast. So go ahead and check out this opportunity. I want to say that we only have 8 spots available, okay? It is that personalized. So if you cannot make it, that's totally okay. If you can, go ahead and secure your spot, okay? So to make this even more personalized and individualized, it's only 8 people per cohort. So you won't get this personalized learning anywhere else, okay? And you can find the one-time payment and monthly installment payments in the description down below. So click it and then enter your webinar discount code. So it's just webinar, all caps, and it'll apply that discount because you're watching right here. So to learn more about the program, the projects you'll build, and all the other features, check out the description and visit the webinar. Visit the website and the webinar for more details, okay? So click the link and check it out. And even if you cannot afford it, I would recommend going through to this website and solve the survey, because you will be able to then sign up for this new thing that we're preparing for all of you. I can see a lot of different currencies being thrown around in the chat. And once again, I totally understand that in different currencies, the prices can vary, right? And depending on the earnings. As I said, totally understand that. Don't worry about that. Like, we'll always keep providing more stuff for you. You don't have to worry. This is just for people that really want to skyrocket their journey, okay? Great. So just to recap, right? We're doing a private coaching masterclass, 120 days of private learning, 30 days of career preparation assistance, lifetime access to past and free pro courses, 3 build and deploy full stack projects from Figma Designs. You'll learn and master the latest and greatest of the technologies. You'll have daily one-on-one meetings with qualified mentors, 24/7 support from all of these mentors. You'll work in the industry simulation of GitHub, code reviews, agile methodologies, and you'll also optimize your LinkedIn profile, GitHub profile, project readmes, and everything else we talked about. Can you do it on your own? You might. It might take a lot of time. I gave some great tips that you can take away home and still learn from this webinar. But if you want to do it fast, well, you can get all of these strategies, and also by tomorrow midnight, you get a $1,000 discount and free tickets to Git Nation for upcoming events. That was quick. But do remember, there's only 8 seats. So you can secure your spot right now by clicking the link in the description. And this program isn't just another bootcamp that'll get outdated. We really try to do it differently. From start, I want to help you be consistent, hold you accountable, teach you how to code, and teach you how to debug different issues and cultivate that developer mindset to make you job ready and prepare you for the future. So, once again, even if you're not going to join, that's totally okay. But I hope that you now, after watching this webinar, have that developer mindset and that you feel motivated to move forward and achieve your dreams. So don't delay it. Check out your description and start right now. And before we wrap up, I just want to say that, we also have a lot of these other testimonials and success stories that we have done on our YouTube channel. So if you're feeling on the edge, maybe check it out and watch it. Remember, I want to say this. You can do it. Even if you don't have prior experience, if you have any web development knowledge, if you don't have a degree, and regardless of your age, you can do it, okay? So I look forward to seeing you there, or I also look forward to having you here in this webinar, okay? It's so great that many of you have stayed until the end of this live. And how are you feeling? How are you doing? I hope that everything is good, and I hope that you're feeling motivated to code no matter whether you're gonna join or not. I will always keep working on recording these great videos for you on YouTube, and I'll also create courses with purchasing power parity, okay? So a lot of exciting stuff. You have to have the right attitude, right? Don't feel mad at others that can't afford it. Don't feel mad that you can't. Try to do the best that you can do on your own in your current situation. So watch YouTube videos, land jobs, and you can do it no matter where you are right now in the world, right? We have had people from Nepal, India, Indonesia, Pakistan, Africa, right? Nigeria, also a lot of Europe, right? We had a lot of Croatia, Serbia. We had people from Scandinavia as well, US, Canada, Germany, France. We had people from all over the world. And trust me, no matter where you are right now, you can do it. You can do it. That's the idea. Yeah, many have landed jobs just by watching YouTube videos and then rebuilding them. That's great. Takes more effort, but it's doable, right? So that's why I want to say that we will always be providing that stuff. And I hope that all of you have gotten value out of it, okay? That's the idea. So now I want to open up Q&A, right? Feel free to ask me questions about literally anything. As I said, I don't typically have the opportunity to speak with all of you like this. So if you have any questions, just let me know. Okay, I can see some great questions starting to pop up right here. Let's see, what do we have here? Okay, what is your thinking process when creating a new project? What a great question. Yeah, this is a truly great question. And our process typically starts from thinking, what is an interesting idea that you guys might want to build, okay? So if you want to build maybe like a banking application or something like that, well, then we try to do that. We try to find a very good design online, and then we tweak it, we make it better, and then we start putting it into code. And sometimes this process can take weeks to get done, but I always try to ask myself, what would you like to see? And then sometimes I get it right. So many people just say, oh, how did you know what I want to build? So hopefully we're doing a good job with that. Let's see. How and where to get jobs is a question from Ahmed. Well, we kind of discussed it in the webinar, right? You can rewatch it as well for some time. LinkedIn is a good opportunity. Building in public is great, like on Twitter or LinkedIn. Showcasing your work is basically what you can do, okay? Okay, how to create a website. Yeah, you can watch some of the YouTube videos to answer that question. Can I apply for the work concerning developer work visa? Yeah, you can apply for a visa to work as a developer, sure. Will you creating projects with Drizzle? Yeah, we actually have something like that planned. Somebody says, okay, I have done the Next.js 14 Pro course. Okay, that's great. I hope you like it. And how do I land that job? Well, yeah, that's great. Start applying it. Put what you've learned into the actual websites, right? Oh, I also see some friendly, familiar faces. I can see Kamsi from Nigeria. Yeah, he says, Nigerians interested in the masterclass, ask me any questions. He actually enrolled, right? Kamsiona is very, very close to landing a job. Kamsi, I hope to see you soon in an interview. So we'll have a discussion as well once you actually land it. That's going to be quite exciting. I know that you actually had quite a lot of interviews already. And that's the thing with the masterclass. Like, I will know every single one of you in person, right? Same like I know Kamsi right now. And we are charging that much because we're actually putting the effort to help these people do that for a living. That is the idea, okay? We have more questions here. Is there a way to create an admin dashboard? Yeah, we have a couple of videos on the admin dashboards. Do we have to know AWS for front-end jobs? Well, yeah, sure. We can definitely, it might be a good thing to know. It cannot hurt, right? Again, scout the job postings, and then see if maybe some mention it. And if you notice that more and more of the jobs mention it, then you can start learning it, right? That was explained as a part of the video. Okay, I can see a lot of questions from, we can see a lot of questions. Very good questions. These are great. Best Next.js video you recommend from your channel? Oh, that would be the Next.js crash course. You can find it on YouTube. Some people asking about purchasing power parity. Well, it's available for all the courses, but not for the masterclass as we have limited spots. So we wouldn't be able to actually fill it in, okay? Somebody asking how to approach creating a big project. Well, you can sketch it down. Try to use some kind of a sketching app to write down the logic and then start building it piece by piece. Somebody's asking remote internship or on-site internship. Which one should I join? This is a great question. And typically I would always recommend remote work. But for your first internship or for your first position or internship, I would actually recommend, if possible, to do it in person, because you can just learn so much more from your superiors and seniors if you're in person, okay? But for other jobs, of course, working remotely is preferable, in my opinion. Somebody's asking, does the Next.js course have the lifetime updates? Yes, we're planning on adding lifetime updates for Next.js 14, 15, and all the other ones. And yeah, I'm gonna give you a bit of an insight into something new we're doing. We're planning on adding many more of these elite courses, which will be updated for a lifetime. And I'll tell it right now. Nobody knows this yet, but we're working on a very exciting course, which will be released in about a month. And it has something to do with some of the technologies we mentioned today. And of course, it'll have complete purchasing power parity and all that good stuff, so all of you will be able to watch it, okay? I won't reveal the exact topic yet. Maybe some of you can guess it. Okay, great. I think we covered a lot of questions, and I can see a lot more coming up, but this has been just such a wonderful webinar. I think we extended it to about 1.5 hours, so I know that it's very, very late for most of you. So thank you so much for taking the time out of your day to be here and, sit with me and speak with me for about 1.5 hours. Once again, I hope that this first part of the webinar, at least, motivated you to code, that you can actually do it. Like, go read those books. Books are very inexpensive, like the Atomic Habits or Deep Work, right? Invest the time out of your day to code consistently, to showcase your work, and to show to people that even if you don't have 3 or 5 years of experience, you're better than people who do, okay? That's what JavaScript mastery is all about. And I believe that all of you can do it, okay? So once again, you can expect a few emails from me in the next couple of days. You can check out the masterclass if you think that's a good fit for you. If not, I might prepare something, not as exclusive, but something that might be a good fit for you in the future. Go ahead, check it out. Check out the interviews that we have with some of the other masterclass people. And yeah, quite a lot of exciting stuff. I'm so happy to see that a lot of you are happy with the webinar, that you find it useful, and that it motivated you to continue doing development in the future and to finally land that job. So yeah, join thousands of others that have already commented on the videos and said that they landed it. The next one will be you. So thank you so much. I'm hoping to speak with you more often in the future. Thank you for the support, and let's talk soon. Have a wonderful day. See you soon.